Oh, well, good evening. Good evening, everybody. It's been a few days. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, everybody's been having a great few days, staying warm. Do a quick audio check, make sure everything is working. Hopefully, we're good. Hopefully, we're good. Good evening, Gracefully Salty. Hopefully, you're still here. Let's make sure you can hear me. Check everything here. Fix that. Let's fix that. Make sure my mic is good. Audio should be coming in clear. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Beautifully broken woman. Hello. Good evening. How you doing? Hope everybody's having a great night. Jackie B, so good to see you. Teresa, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I know this is kind of a last minute stream here. Um, Before we get too far into it, I just want to make sure my audio is good. I'm trying out a new set of headphones here, so I just want to make sure that I'm coming in clear, coming in clear. Annie Ruler, hello, good to see you. Hello from Cabo. Good to see you. All right, cool. Sounds like it looks like I'm coming in all right, right? Yeah, WSU is bringing it. That's for sure. WSU did not come to lose. That is for sure. I personally already went through the 50 plus pages, but I wanted to do a read through of it here. I know there's been a lot of talk about it, but I haven't seen anybody read through the full response from WSU. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Hopefully everybody's down for that. You know, get your drinks, get a blankie, get comfy, get a snack, you know, do what you got to do. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. First of all, before we get too far into it, I want to give a big, 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 huge shout out to Kathy's Indie Zone over there because she's the one who initially broke this. You know, that WSU finally filed their response, but her video was like super short. It was only like 5 minutes, and maybe she just didn't have time to read through the whole thing. But then, of course, my most favorite person, you know, one of my most favorite people ever, for fuck's sake, FITZIANNA, she got me the link to the doc. So we have the whole doc for us to be able to read. So thank you so much, Lucy Morningstar. Beautiful for fuck's sake, FITZIANNA. I don't know what I would do without her. Because she always, always, always comes through in clutch anytime I need something. So, Lucy, darling, wherever you are, thank you. James Moen, so good to see you, sir. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Sounds good? How's my sound? Let's make sure everything is holding up. Yes, for fuck's sake, FITZIANNA, James Moen. That's right. She's literally the best. Literally the best. And thankfully for her, she's the one who actually got me the full document here. So as much as I would like to link it for you guys right now, it's in my own personal drive, so I can't. But what I am going to do is once we're done live, I'll go link it in my community tab. She may have already done that. If you go to Lucy's community tab, she may have already posted the Google Drive link for this doc if anybody's looking for it, but just in case, I'll also post it in the community tab for anybody who wants it. Detective Mowry, you sandbagging son of a bitch. Welcome on in, sir. How you been? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, for fuck's sake, FITZIANNA. Do you love that, James Moen? Dinky actually gave her that name, and then it just stuck, and that's what I call her now. Love Tina, hello, welcome on in. Good to see you. Buggles, yo, what up? Audio's beautiful, Annie Ruler says. Wonderful. Yeah, I got a new pair of little headphones here that I'm trying out. They don't have to be plugged in or anything. So hopefully they last and they hold up for this. Okay, so let's get into it. It's not too long, okay? It shouldn't take too long to go through this. Also, just for clarity, I know sometimes I can come off like a real bitch, and you know, it's fine. I'm used to it. Been that way my whole life. I don't mean to at all. I did make a post earlier. I'm not trying to start shit or cause drama or anything, but I think that some people, I don't know where they're getting their information from. I really don't. Based on nothing that I've seen from any of what we read through for Sutton's responses to Nodell and the Sutton responses to Dr. Turvey, I didn't read anywhere in there that those experts agreed that Kaylee was on the second floor. That's not what they were saying at all. In fact, all of them agree that the attack started on the third floor and that those two specific girls were sought out intentionally on the third floor. So I'm not exactly sure why. I put that post earlier because I didn't want a bunch of people coming into my comments saying, Kaylee was on the second floor. There's proof the experts said that Kaylee was on the second floor. That is not what is said. That is just not what is said. So, if you need a recap, you are more than welcome to go listen. I did 2 separate lives specifically covering only her responses to Nodell and only her responses to Turvey. And if you go listen to both, I read through all of it. Those experts do not agree that Kaylee was on the second floor at all. So just wanted to make sure that that's out there. Do with that information what you will. But thank you for being here tonight. We're going to read through this WSU response, and hopefully, we can learn something. We can learn something from it all. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I, at least did a little post about that before I started seeing it regurgitated over and over again in my comment section or in other chats or whatever. The White Rabbit, hello, welcome on in. Be a bitch, love it. Yeah, I know, exactly. It is what it is. Senor Wazowski, well, hello, so good to see you. Welcome on in. Appreciate you being here. Big Booty Judy. What up, Judy? I love saying that name. Big Booty Judy. All right. So let's see here. So yes, friends, if I'm mistaken, please, like I always say, never ever listen to me. I am no one. I don't know shit. I am just some lady on the internet who likes to read docs and talk about what we're reading. And, that's it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Not only did we read through the full 155 pages when it first dropped, I then went through and I did separate lives specifically for Nodell and then a separate live specifically for Turvey. And nowhere in there, in Sutton's responses, Turvey's questions, Nodell's questions, or her replies to anything that either of them said, are they agreeing that Kaylee was on the second floor? So just wanted to put that out there. All right, so let's get into it. We'll share screen here. Did I already do this, or am I about to? All right. Make sure this is big enough. Do. Let's fix this. What is happening? There we go. Okay. Make sure that's big enough. Make that a little bit bigger for you. How's that? Hopefully everybody can see that okay. Try and keep an eye on my chat here. Okay, so welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Hope you're having a great Thursday. This is only like 50-something pages, so it shouldn't take too long to go through. A lot of it is just kind of like the same thing, no knowledge, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we should be able to go through it pretty quickly. Well, Liz, hello. Welcome on in. Yeah, I'm having issues here. I don't know if we're supposed to be getting more shitty weather. It's been nothing but day after day of just shitty weather here. So, okay. All right, everyone. Ready? Let's get it crack-a-lackin'. Yeah. Rooms up, bitches. Okay. For the love of Pete Santilli, are we back? Oh my goodness gracious, friends. No, it's not that I had no sound. It's just that for whatever reason, okay, this is what the interwebs loves to do to me. I go live maybe once a week, and I can't get one motherfucking live that's normal ever. I just can't get even one that's normal. Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm gonna have to go back in and edit out like what 6, 7 minutes of this. I don't even know where it cut out on you guys. I'm so very sorry. So sorry. Hello, hello. I'm back. I'm sorry. So very sorry, friends. RJ, thanks for all the red flags, buddy. I wasn't here though to see them. I don't know what happened. We're having internet problems here. Yeah, Wade Bird, you heard nothing. Yeah, you're right. Short bus, hello, welcome on in. It's okay. We didn't even get like one sentence in to the response, so it's fine. I realized very quickly, holy shit, where'd my StreamYard go? It just everything closed out. Sorry. And then every time I tried to get back in, it just kept booting me out. So I don't know if StreamYard's having problems or if it's me, but whatever. Last thing you heard was brooms up. Okay, cool, cool. Then it wasn't that long. I only read like one sentence and then I realized, wait a minute, what's happening? Okay, cool. So here we go. All right. As soon as I pulled up the document, yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Okay, so hang on. Let's do this. We'll do this. Let's get back to where we were. Okay. We were at the introduction here. Let's make sure that we're good. Put that full screen for you. Get myself out of the way here. There we go. Okay. All right, friends. I think we're okay now. I think we're okay. Sorry about that. So sorry. You guys know I don't like wasting anyone's time at all, yours or mine. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being patient. I think I fixed it. As always, friends, thank you for being here. Mods, if I have a mod somewhere, thank you for being here. Elaine, well, hello, peekaboo to you. Lucy, darling, honey, I was just giving you all of the big shout outs, my for fuck's sake, FITZIANNA. I was making sure everybody knows to go over to your community tab because I think you posted the link to this doc anyway for everybody to be able to read it. I forget what the site is that you call it. But Lucy knows. Lucy's got it. She's the amazing, wonderful person who got the doc for me and sent it to me. So big shout out to my Lucy. Big shout out. For fuck's sake, FITZIANNA. You didn't miss anything, honey. All you missed was me reading one sentence of this response, and then my internet decided to crash the fuck out. So we just got back. You've missed nothing. Christina, well, hello. Thank you for dropping in. You're dropping off your like. Oh, well, no worries. It's okay if you can't chat. Don't worry. Do what you got to do. You miss nothing, Lucy. Don't worry. That's right. For fuck's sake, FITZIANNA, my favorite. Nope, no one, no. Sorry. Internet crashed there for a minute, friends. I'm so very sorry. We're back now. We're back. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lucy. There you go. Thanks, honey. I was trying to tell everyone they can go grab it at your community tab, and then I was just going to post it in my community tab as well. I was going to link it in the description of the video, and then I realized I'm linking my own Drive file, which you can't get into it unless I open it. So whatever, we'll just there you go. Lucy's posted it for everyone. Okay. Thank you, Lucy. Truly appreciate you, honey. I hope you know that. Thank you so much. Yes, I made sure everybody knew Lucy is the one who got me this doc. Because other than that, it's my understanding that because now this has been moved to federal court, you can only view the documents on Pacer. And Pacer like charges you or whatever. You have to pay to be a member, and then you got to pay per page or whatever the case may be, something like that. I don't know. I don't use Pacer. But Lucy's got this one here. What is it? Court listener. Yeah, recap. Court listener recap link. So there you go. Anybody who needs it. Lucy does rock. You damn right she rocks. Love, Tina. I agree. Okay. So, ay, ay, ay. All right. I don't think that we missed too much. We got into like one sentence, so we're just going to pick up where we left off, friends. I don't think that I need to go back through, this first couple of sentences here. All it says is the defendant, Washington State University, in answer to the plaintiff's complaint, admits, denies, and alleges the following. 1. WSU admits Brian Kohberger. Look at how they spell his name, too, Brian. His name is spelled with a Y. And they both sides just repeatedly spell it Brian. It's just so funny to me because that's not how his name is spelled. And it's super easy if you just look on the court docs from where the motherfucker pled guilty. You can see how his name is spelled. So, I'm sure it's neither here nor there. I just think it's funny. Yes, exactly, Lucy. Same. It's not lost on me either. It's like the first thing I noticed. I'm like, so they just keep spelling his name wrong over and over and over again. Okay, we're gonna roll with it. That's right, RJ. Brooms up. Brooms up. Hopefully, we're fine now. We should be fine. Okay, so number 2, WSU admits. It admitted Brian Kohberger into the PhD program at WSU's Criminal Justice and Criminology Department. WSU also admits it offered Kohberger financial support that included a salary for Kohberger's teaching assistant position, health insurance, and resident tuition waiver. WSU further admits that Kohberger was provided with on-campus housing. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 2. I probably should have I should have brought up the other one side by side, but it's fine. We've already read through the first one. It's like 126 pages. If you missed it, go back and watch that live. We already read through the whole thing. Number 3, WSU is without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny the allegations in paragraph 3, and therefore denies the same. Number 4, WSU admits on November 13th, 2022, Kohberger murdered 4 University of Idaho students. Except for that, WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 4. And then as you can see here, for numbers 5 through all the way down, you just keep going all the way down through 16, it is the same response. So 5 through 16 in this response are WSU is without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny the allegations in paragraph 16 and therefore denies the same. So 5 through 16, we don't have enough knowledge and the information is not sufficient enough to admit or deny any of the allegations, starting from 5 through 16. Everybody understand that? Anna D, hello, welcome on in. Esther Hahn, hello, welcome in. Appreciate everybody being here. I hope you're having a great night. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to thumbs up, thumbs it down, follow your heart, not your frown. Okay, so when we get into number 17 here, WSU admits it has a WSU police department on WSU Pullman's campus. WSU further admits the WSU Police Department's, quote, mission is to ensure the safety and security of the campus community while positively influencing student development through proactive policing, community engagement, and professional excellence, end quote. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 17. So I just wanted to pause here for a minute because this quote is super interesting to me. So WSU is admitting we do have WSU, our own police department on WSU's campus. WSU further admits that the police department's, quote, mission is to ensure the safety and security of the campus community while positively influencing student development through proactive policing. community engagement, and professional excellence. Well, pardon me, WSU. Pardon me. I beg the most pardons from you, because what you're leaving out here, WSU, and this is the thing, I'm not taking sides here, but what they are leaving out here is that, yeah, we admit that multiple high-ranking officers with the WSU Police Department were forced to resign due to the sexual misconduct that was going on between these officers and some of the college students. So it's interesting. It's interesting. We'll just say that. Your police department, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, this whole safety and security of the campus community, along with proactive policing. I mean, if your idea of proactive policing is you have predator cops that are grooming students and sexually assaulting them, that's not my idea of proactive policing. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. And for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, if you go watch the video I did reading the entire complaint against WSU, there are factual allegations in there regarding the fall of 2022, when multiple high-ranking members of the WSU Police Department were forced to resign. Not only that, they also paid, I think it was in 2021, if I remember correctly, an $85,000 fine to the feds for a federal investigation that was going on from 2021 into 2022. And then their main predator police officer is the one who finally resigned November 1st, 2022, just 12 days before this crime. So in total, if I remember correctly, it was 4 high-ranking WSU police officers that resigned because they either participated in and or covered up the predatory behavior of these officers. So just wanted to throw that in there. Oh, Cast, what up, gangsta? How you doing, homie? Welcome on in. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, for anybody, if you're confused as to what I'm talking about here, these are factual things. You can find it in, there's articles about it. It was all happening in the fall of 2022. Right before this crime happened, WSU police officers were going down big time for their grooming and or sexual abuse of students and or the covering up of grooming and sexual abuse of the students. So correct, Lucy. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, some of them, Love Tina, resigned before the disciplinary investigation could be concluded. So in my opinion, that's just their way of being able to keep their pensions and, you know, be able to resign from the force, but still keep all your benefits, your pension, and all of that before disciplinary has been decided, right? If you resign before any disciplinary action can be taken. There's one guy, though, the main predator, he was demoted and stayed and took a demotion instead, but then was forced to resign. And by November 1st, I believe, put in his resignation. So very, very interesting. So WSU admits they do have a police department that's on their campus, and this is their mission, right? But they deny each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 17. I mean, dude, your cops had to pay an $85,000 fine to the feds, and they didn't even fight it. So, okay. And then we see the same thing here for 18 through 21. I'm sorry. Yeah, 18 through 21. Same thing. WSU is without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny the allegations in paragraph 21 and therefore denies the same. 22. WSU admits on November 13th, 2022, Kohberger murdered 4 University of Idaho students. Except for that, WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 22. And then starting for 23, let's see, 23 and 24 are the same, without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. 25, WSU admits it does have a threat assessment team that identifies, assesses, and addresses threats to the WSU community and property. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 25. 26, WSU admits on November 13, 2022, Kohberger murdered 4 University of Idaho students. Except for that, WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 22 and specifically denies that the murders were a result of WSU's actions or inactions. Then we get into the parties here. 27 through 29, same. WSU is without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. So what you'd have to do is go back and pull up the other 150-page document, the original lawsuit that was filed. You'll see everything is numbered the same way here. They're responding to each line. 27, 28, 29, 30. They're all the same. Without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. 31. WSU admits it operates a public university in the state of Washington and has campuses in Pullman, Spokane, Richland, Vancouver, and Everett. The remainder of the allegations contained in paragraph 31 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. To the extent an answer is required, WSU denies the same. 32. The allegations contained in paragraph 32 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. To the extent an answer is required, WSU denies the same. Then we get into jurisdiction and venue. The allegations contained in paragraph 33 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. To the extent the answer is required, WSU denies the same. And then we go on here, same thing for 34, same thing for 35, 36. So 34 through 36, it's the same. Okay. It's basically allegations and contentions of law which require no answer by WSU. And to the extent an answer is required, they'll just deny it. They'll deny it. 36. The allegations contained in paragraph 36 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. 37. WSU admits the plaintiff, Steve Gonsalves, as personal representative, and then they go through. So they have Steve. They admit Steve is the personal representative of the estate of Kaylee. They admit that plaintiff Karen Laramie, also a personal representative of the estate of Maddie Mogan. And then the same for Jeff Kernodle as a representative for the estate of Xana, and Stacy Chapin, who is the representative for the estate of Ethan. Factual allegations common to all counts. A, stalking is a serious and prevalent risk to college students. To the extent this heading calls for or requires an answer, WSU denies. Basically, they're saying, no, we deny any of this stalking bullshit that you're talking about, that we allowed his stalking, we facilitated his stalking, we're the ones who brought him here, and he, paid for him to stalk, things like this, right? They're denying all of it. So 38, 39, 40, 42, 41, all the way down to, let's see, goes down to, I want to say it was down to like 60, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So $38 through 59 through 60 are all the same. Basically, it's WSU is without knowledge or information, right? Or they contain allegations or contentions of law. They deny. We deny the same. We deny the same. Allegations contained in paragraph 60 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. Part B, WSU has policies and procedures to control conduct and prohibit and prevent discrimination, harassment, and stalking. To the extent this heading calls for or requires an answer, WSU denies. 61. WSU admits Kohberger was admitted into the PhD program in WSU's Criminal Justice and Criminology Department. WSU also admits it offered Kohberger a salary for Kohberger's teaching assistant position. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 61. Here, WSU was obligated to control Kohberger under the requirements of its employment agreement with him. To the extent this heading calls for or requires an answer, WSU denies. So 62, 63, 64, deny, deny, deny. Same for 65 through 69. Everybody keeping up? A lot of it is just deny, 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 deny. But it's fine. We'll get to the juicy parts. Silent G, what up? Welcome on in. Appreciate everybody being here. Summer Jaden, hello. Good to see you. Nana Robin, hello. Welcome on in. Sorry, I'm just checking chat. Hopefully everybody's having a great night. Outcast. Outcast gifted somebody a membership. You better say thank you to Outcast. Oh, wait. Outcast gifted more than one membership? Outcast? You're fucking awesome, homie. Thank you so much. Who's ever getting gifted memberships here, you better make sure you say thank you to Outcast. Good looking out, homie. He's making people turn green up in her. Yes, WSU needs to control Kohberger, Lucy. Get a rein in on him. Thank you, Outcast. You're amazing. Appreciate you so, so much. Hope you know that. Good looking out, homie. Okay. So, as we can see, a lot of it is deny, 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 right? They're denying that, they're obligated to control Kohberger. So 70 and 71, they deny. 72, WSU admits its 2022 to 2023 Graduate School Policies and Procedures Manual states graduate students who receive teaching, research, or staff assistantships, quote, are expected to be at work each normal workday, including periods when the university classes are not in session, with the exception of the legal holidays designated by the boards of regents, end quote. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 72. 73. WSU admits 2022 to 2023 Graduate School Policies and Procedures Manual states, quote, as key contributors to the WSU community, graduate assistants have a responsibility to maintain high standards of professional and ethical conduct, end quote. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 73. 74. WSU is without knowledge or information. Oh, okay. So they deny that one for paragraph 59. C. WSU is obligated to control Kohberger under the requirements of its Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology Graduate Handbook. To the extent this heading calls for or requires an answer, WSU denies. So they're denying that we are obligated to control him. Same thing here. WSU obligated to control Kohberger under its standards of conduct for students. They're saying allegations contained in paragraph 78 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. And then for 79 through 83 here, it is WSU is without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny the allegations in any of those paragraphs. Same for 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. It's basically all the same. Allegations in all of these paragraphs, they are without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. Amethyst, hello, honey. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Okay. Another one, WSU is obligated to control Kohberger under its Executive Policy 42. We remember reading about that in the original civil suit. So let's see, 102 through 115 are the same. Deny, deny, deny. Without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. Okay. Same thing here. WSU obligated to control Kohberger under Waiver 21 threat assessment and intervention protocols. Nope. Don't have enough information to submit sufficient to admit or deny. So let's see. That's 116 through 141. So 116 through 141, it's all the same. WSU is without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny the allegations. Another one here, WSU obligated to control Kohberger under the terms of the Family and Graduate Apartment Agreement. And they're saying deny. There's not enough information sufficient to admit or deny. And that goes all the way down to number 150, let's see, 160. Okay. Let's see. When Kohberger arrived at WSU in the fall of 2022, the WSU Police Department was consumed by a university investigation into its own long and sordid history of tolerating and, in fact, fostering serious sexual misconduct within its own ranks. To the extent this heading calls for or requires an answer, WSU denies. So 161 through 198, there is not enough information sufficient to admit or deny. So they're going to deny. Let's see. WSU brings Kohberger to the Pullman Moscow community and quickly learns of his threatening, stalking, and predatory behavior. WSU says, nope, actually, we don't have enough information sufficient to admit or deny. So 199 through 214. Sorry, 199 through 214, same answer. Without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. 215, WSU admits in December 2021, Kohberger applied to WSU's PhD program in criminal justice and criminology. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 215. He applied in December of 2021. Does that sound right? Or is that date wrong, guys? Let me come back over to chat for a second. Lucy, darling. Does that sound right? December of 2021? Silent G, thank you so much for your super sticker. That was so very nice of you. Truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. But I feel like 2021. Does that sound right? Yeah, he applied the year before, December of 2021. Okay. 216, WSU admits it admitted Kohberger into the PhD program in WSU's Criminal Justice and Criminology Department. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in 216. 217, WSU admits it offered Kohberger financial support that included a salary for Kohberger's teaching assistant position, health insurance, and resident tuition waiver. WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in 217. And then 218 through all the way down here. So 218 through, yeah, the rest of this is all just deny, deny, deny. As you guys can see, it's just, so 218 to 314, it's just without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. Next, Kohberger commits mass murder, which was foreseeable to WSU. 315. WSU admits Brian Kohberger murdered 4 University of Idaho students. Except for that, WSU denies each and every remaining allegation in paragraph 315. And then let's see, so 316 all the way down to 368. So 316 to 368, answers are the same, without knowledge or information sufficient to admit or deny. Legal counts. Count 1, violation of Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972, 20 U.S.C., Section 1681. 369. WSU incorporates by this reference its responses to each and every preceding paragraph. 370. The allegations contained in paragraph 370 contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. So 370 all the way to as you guys can see with your own eyes here, 370 all the way down to 435, the answer is the same. Allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. Count 2, negligence. WSU incorporates by this reference its responses to each and every preceding paragraph, and they say the same thing. Allegations contained in paragraph 437 contain allegations or contentions of law. So same thing here. 437 all the way through down to 474. Answer is the same. 475, allegations contained in paragraph 475 contain allegations or contentions of law. Right here, part A, allegations contained in paragraph 475A contain allegations or contentions of law which require no answer. Same thing for paragraph 475B. Same thing for paragraph 475C, 475D, 475E, 475F, 475G, 475H, all the way down, as you guys can see. Then we get to 476. Same thing. Allegations or contentions of law. Let's see. Next count. Count 3. Gross negligence. Allegations contained in paragraph 480. Same thing. Allegations or contentions of law. Same thing for 481. Count 4. Outrage. And they deny the same. Okay, allegations, contentions of law. Then we have the survival claim for Kaylee Gonsalves. It's all the same thing. Allegations are contentions of law. That's the same for all of it. For Kaylee, for Maddie, okay, for the wrongful death and the survival claim for all 4 of the victims. Reservation of rights. Paragraph 518 contains a reservation of rights not requiring a response. The plaintiff's prayer for relief. The defendant, WSU, denies plaintiffs are entitled to any relief requests, including subparagraphs A through H, inclusive. Demand for jury trial. Jury demand contains allegations or contentions of law to which no answer is required. Let's see. Allegations not expressly admitted are denied. Multiple allegations were embedded in most of the paragraphs to plaintiff's complaint for damages, and indeed in many of the individual sentences in the paragraphs. While WSU made every effort to address each allegation, WSU is aware it may be possible to interpret that a particular allegation was neither admitted nor denied in this answer. Accordingly, in addition to the admissions and denials stated herein, WSU denies any allegations in the plaintiff's complaint for damages that has not been expressly admitted to, denied. Oh, that has not been expressly admitted to, denied. Yeah. Affirmative defenses. By way of further answer and first affirmative defense, defendant alleges that plaintiff's damages and or injuries, if any, were caused by the fault of a non-party for purposes of RCW 4.22.0701, including but not limited to Brian Kohberger and or other individuals and entities that may become apparent through ongoing investigation and discovery. Defendant reserves the right to identify additional individuals and entities in this matter. Okay. Interesting. Well, thank you, Esther. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So, isn't that interesting, huh? Affirmative defenses. So, WSU saying, well, we get first affirmative defense here. We are the defendant. We're alleging that the plaintiff's damages and or injuries, if any, were caused by the fault of a non-party for purposes of this RCW, including but not limited to Brian Kohberger and or other individuals and entities that may become apparent through ongoing investigation and discovery. Defendant reserves the right to identify additional individuals and entities in this matter, meaning we can run through this entire fucking thing with a fine-tooth comb in order to defend ourselves. In order to defend ourselves from the claim that any of these damages and or injuries to these defendants here, we're not responsible for that shit. You need to be going after Kohberger and whoever the fuck else, these other individuals and entities that caused the injuries. Right? Joanne, hello, welcome on in. Sounds to me like that's what they're saying. Thank you again, Esther. Appreciate you. Sounds to me like what WSU is saying, actually. Well, I mean, we can just run through this shit with a fine-tooth comb ourselves. And perhaps through ongoing investigation in the discovery process here, we may find these other individuals, you know, for our own defense. For our own defense. Interesting. Brian Kohberger and or other individuals and entities that may become apparent through ongoing investigation and discovery. Interesting. By way of a further answer and a second affirmative defense, the defendant alleges that plaintiffs, let's remember here, WSU is the defendant, guys. Plaintiffs are the families. The defendant alleges that the plaintiff's injuries or damages, if any, were caused by intentional conduct of Brian Kohberger and any other individuals the plaintiffs harmed them. What? This has got to be a typo. By way of further answer and second affirmative defense, the defendant alleges that plaintiff's injuries and damages, if any, were caused by intentional conduct of Brian Kohberger and any other individuals plaintiffs harm them. It has to be a typo. Let me come back to my chat. This can't be written correctly. What am I missing here? And any other individuals, plaintiffs harm them? Right here, line 16. Anybody see this? Lucy, darling. Ooh. By way of further answer and second affirmative defense, the defendant alleges that plaintiff's injuries and damages, if any, were caused by intentional conduct of Brian Kohberger and any other individuals plaintiffs harm them. I don't know. The defendant reserves the right to identify additional individuals and entities in this matter. The damages caused by the intentional conduct must be segregated from injuries and damages allegedly caused by fault consistent with Tegman v. Accident and Medical Investigations. Okay. The defendant reserves the right to identify additional individuals and entities. Oh my God. WSU. Honda. Did I say Honda? No, I don't think I did. Did I? I don't think I did. Harm them. Harm them. Not Honda. Harm them. This paragraph is just, it's literally, it's giving me my brain like melted just on this one sentence because I'm not sure how to read it. I'm guessing there's a typo here and I just can't figure out what the typo is. Usually I can kind of figure out what the typo is and say it correctly, but I really can't here. I'm going to read it again. The way it's written. By way of further answer and second, we're right here, friends. Right here. By way of further answer and second affirmative defense, defendant alleges that plaintiff's injuries and damages, if any, were caused by intentional conduct of Brian Kohberger and any other individuals plaintiffs harmed them. I don't know what that means. The defendant reserves the right to identify additional individuals and entities in this matter. Oh my God. Damages caused by the intentional conduct, meaning the damages caused by the intentional conduct of Mr. Kohberger and any other individuals and entities that may have fucking assisted him. Well, we're not responsible for that. Sidebar, WSU, if it happened to be one of your weirdo, pedo, predator, groomer cops that assisted Mr. Kohberger, well, then you might be fucking responsible for the damages here. Just saying. If your cops happen to be the entity that assisted Mr. Kohberger, oopsie, you might actually be responsible for some damages here. Obviously, that would have to be proven. I'm just throwing it out there, friends. I'm not saying that a WSU police officer assisted Mr. Kohberger. I'm not saying that. I'm just throwing it out there as a hypothetical, okay? Before anybody gets their panties in a bunch about me saying that, okay? I'm just throwing it out there. Let me come back to chat. How's everybody doing? Can you still hear me? Am I even still here? I hope my shit didn't go down and I just didn't know it. Okay, so I don't know what they mean by and any other individuals, plaintiffs harm them. And any other individuals. I can usually figure out the typo. Injuries or damages, if any, were caused by intentional conduct of Brian Kohberger and any other individuals. Plaintiffs harmed them. I don't know. Okay, so we have defense one here, right? First affirmative defense is that WSU alleges the plaintiff's damages or injuries, if any, were caused by the fault of a non-party, including but not limited to Brian Kohberger and other individuals and entities that may become apparent through ongoing investigation and discovery. Their second affirmative defense WSU alleges that the plaintiff's injuries and damages, if any, were caused by intentional conduct of Brian Kohberger and any other individuals, I'm guessing, who assisted him. Same thing up here, individuals or entities that may become apparent. Okay, I'm guessing that's what they mean. The defendant, WSU, reserves the right to identify the additional individuals and entities in this matter. Because the damages caused by the intentional conduct of Mr. Kohberger and any of these other individuals and entities must be segregated from the injuries and damages allegedly caused by fault of WSU. Consistent with whatever this case is. I guess maybe we'll have to take a peeky poo at that sometime, I guess. I don't know. Number 3 here. Further answer and their third affirmative defense is that the defendant, WSU, alleges that all actions of the defendant, WSU, herein alleged as negligence, manifest a reasonable exercise of judgment and discretion by authorized public officials made in the exercise of governmental authority entrusted to them by law and are neither tortious nor actionable. So their third affirmative defense is that all actions of WSU herein that are alleged as negligence manifest a reasonable exercise of judgment and discretion by authorized public officials made in the exercise of governmental authority entrusted them by law and are neither tortious or actionable. Meaning you would what, have to sue the state, not the university? Is that what they mean? Discretion by authorized public officials. So is what they're saying here is like our third affirmative defense is that technically you should be going after the state, not us? I don't understand what this defense, what they're saying here. Yeah, what I think they were trying to say, right, Lucy? How long did you try to figure that one out for and try to fix their typo for them in your own brain? I know I did, and I still can't. I still can't. So I don't know if I'm right about that. Like I said, friends, I'm no lawyer, right? Don't ever listen to me. I never went to law school. I don't know. Okay, I'm kind of a nerd and I geek out on this shit, and you know, uh, it is what it is. I try to learn as much as I possibly can. I like to learn about this stuff, but it sounds to me like their third affirmative defense is that the actions of WSU herein that are alleged as negligence manifest a reasonable exercise of judgment and discretion by authorized public officials made in the exercise of governmental authority entrusted to them by law and are neither tortious nor actionable. Right. So this isn't a tort claim. Maybe I'm wrong about that. If somebody else knows, please let me know. Pop it in my chat or something. I'll try and keep my eye. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. But are they saying, like, you shouldn't be suing us? You should be trying to sue the state of Washington, not us? Is that what they mean? I'm not sure. Let's see. Fourth affirmative defense. WSU alleges that the plaintiffs have failed to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. Fifth affirmative defense. WSU alleges that the injuries and or damages being claimed were proximately caused by the fault of a party or former party to this case for whom the defendant is not responsible. Party or former party to this case for whom the defendant is not responsible. Okay, but Brian Kohberger isn't a party to this case, correct? Did I lose my chat? I think I lost my chat, friends. I'm sorry. If you are trying to say things in the chat, like, I don't know what's happening. I just don't see. Hang on here. Let me see if I can try to fix something, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I think I lost my chat. Mother F. Hello, is anyone there? Lucy, type something. Is this working? Let me see if it'll let me type something. Nope, it's not. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, let me type something. Okay, so friends, if you're here, right? As far as I know, this lawsuit against WSU, right? The only parties to this case for WSU are the plaintiffs, which is Gonsalves et al., and that's all the families, and then WSU is the defendant. I don't understand what they mean here when they talk about the fault of a party or former party to this case for whom the defendant is not responsible. The two cases are not the same. The two cases are separate. Brian's was a criminal case. This is a civil case, and Brian is not named in the civil case as a defendant. Correct? Hello? Is anyone there? I think I lost my chat. Mother F. Let me check my phone. I guess I'm going to have to check it from my phone, friends. I'm sorry. It's not showing up over here. You guys are probably typing stuff and I can't even see it. OMG. It would not surprise me at all, actually. Do. Nope, I can't see my chat over here either. Okay, is something going on? Like, is just chat gone? There we go. Holy guacamole. Okay, now I had to come over here. Lucy, thank you, honey. Okay. Yeah, Kohberger is not a party to this case. Exactly. Right. So I wonder why they're using that language. By way of a further answer and a fifth, I have watched my chat on my phone, honey. I lost my chat over here on StreamYard, so I will try and keep an eye on my phone, okay? Thank you so much. I don't know what they're trying to say, but it's interesting that their fifth defense, affirmative defense, is that the damages and injuries being claimed by the plaintiffs were proximately caused by the fault of a party or former party to this case for whom WSU is not responsible. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Injuries and damages being claimed were proximately caused by the fault of a party or former party to this case for whom WSU is not responsible. Party or former party to this case, meaning the lawsuit against WSU. Party or former party. Interesting. Okay. I'm not going to let my brain melt on it too long. It's a brain worm. It'll sit there like a parasite, and then, something will click eventually, or it won't. Okay. By way of a further answer and sixth affirmative defense, the defendant, WSU, alleges. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Defendant alleges. So WSU alleges that WSU at all times acted in good faith in the performance of its duties and is therefore immune from suit for the matters charged in the plaintiff's complaint. Acted in good faith in the performance of its duties and is therefore immune from suit. Okay. Seventh affirmative defense. WSU alleges that the plaintiffs have failed to adequately mitigate damages, if any. Okay. Eighth affirmative defense. The defendant alleges, so WSU alleges that the plaintiffs have failed to file a claim against the state of Washington as required by RCW 492-100 and 110. Interesting. So yeah, WSU is like, you didn't file a claim against the state? Ninth affirmative defense. WSU alleges that plaintiffs' claims are barred by the statute of limitations. Okay. So you should have sued the state. Your statute of limitations burned away. Right, is what they're alleging here. But they're also alleging that the injuries and damages being claimed by the plaintiffs were proximately caused by the fault of a party or former party to this case for whom WSU is not responsible. So that is a different party, not Kohberger. This is a party to this case that WSU would have no responsibility for whatsoever. Not connected to WSU is what it sounds like they're claiming here. It sounds like that's what they're getting at. All right, sorry. I have to check my phone to be able to see my chat because I lost my chat on the computer here, friends. Detective Mowry, let's see. Yes. Also, under the case law cited earlier, the university has no duty of care off of their campus, and because it happened in Idaho, they have no responsibility. Right. Yeah, no, I get that. But they're claiming that there are other parties and or entities that are responsible for the injuries and damages that the plaintiffs are seeking, not WSU. And that now, because you're accusing WSU, right, of somehow facilitating him being able to do this, WSU reserves the right to actually go through the whole case with a fine-tooth comb and find these other parties that are responsible, right? That aren't Kohberger. It's super interesting, kind of like the wording and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but basically it sounds to me like what WSU is saying is that, well, I mean, hey, you want to fucking accuse us and say that we're the reason he was able to do this? Okay, you know what? Through ongoing investigation and the discovery process, we will dig through this with a fine-tooth comb, and we're going to find these other entities and or individuals that are responsible for these damages, because we're not. We're not. Go after the people who actually did it. It sounds like that's what they're actually saying. Go sue the people who are actually responsible, because it's not us. And Kohberger is not named as a defendant in this suit. Only WSU is. So it's super, super, super interesting. The party is Brian Kohberger. But that's not what they said, Mowry. They named Kohberger and then other individuals and entities. You really are a sandbagging son of a bitch, aren't you, Detective Mowry? You really are. It's all right, though. Nothing but love. But that's not the wording they're using. They named Kohberger and other individuals and entities. We just read it. Esther, you don't have sound? Interesting. You should have sound. You should have sound. You should have sound. Hang on, hang on. We should have sound. Yeah, I think we have sound. We're good. Kohberger is not and was not party to this case. Correct, Lucy. Correct. He is not a party to this case, Detective Mowry. I'm so sorry. He's just not. He's not even named as a defendant in this civil suit at all. He is not named as a party in this civil suit. You know, but we love you, Detective Mowry. He is not named as a defendant in this lawsuit at all, in this civil suit. Okay. So they have some interesting defenses here. Basically, go sue the state. Also, your statute of limitations is dust. Also, you should go find the responsible individuals and or entities along with Mr. Kohberger. Go sue them, file a civil suit against them for damages, not us. It sounds like that's what they're saying. It's what they're getting at here. When you take all the legal jargon out, it's basically like, no, actually, fuck you. You're not going to blame us for this. We had nothing to do with this. We are not the reason that these, students ended up murdered. We had no control over him. Yes, he came here. Yes, he was a teacher's assistant. Yes, he got, funding just like other people. But what do you want us to do? Like, you're claiming he crossed over state lines in the middle of the night in the early morning hours, like, and killed 4 people that he didn't even know, never met, just picked this house and went in. How is WSU responsible for any of that? Know what I mean? And they're also talking about ongoing investigations that would identify these individuals and or entities that assisted Mr. Kohberger. Okay, reservation of rights. Defendant WSU reserves the right to amend its answer to plaintiff's complaint for damages by way of adding additional affirmative defenses and counterclaims as may be warranted by discovery. Right. Again, addition. So they're saying, hey, not only can we reserve our right to amend these answers, right? We may end up adding additional affirmative defenses. Oh, and also there may be fucking counterclaims coming down the pike that may be warranted by discovery. So once we get everything that we need from discovery so that we can go through this with a fine-tooth comb and possibly identify the other individuals and or entities, because that's what they're getting at here, and they just keep repeating it over and over again about the other individuals and entities, not Kohberger. They name him and then other individuals and entities. Now, I guess my question is, since you're claiming that it was WSU's responsibility to control Mr. Kohberger and monitor his behaviors and whatnot, right? You should have known he was going to do this. Does WSU now get access to the entirety of the discovery in this case? How much of it do they get? All of it. Wouldn't it be absolutely wild if maybe they thought filing this lawsuit would be easy, it's fine, they'll just settle it out of court, right? And then that's actually not what happened. Actually, we're going to fight it. We want this in federal court. We want a federal court judge overseeing this, actually. And we want the entirety of the discovery that he pled to, since you're claiming he got to do all this because of us, right? We want access to all of it. I don't know. I mean, how do you defend yourself, right? How do you defend yourself that you facilitated a murderer if you don't get to see the discovery in that murderer's case? How do you defend yourself? I'd be interested to know what they can get access to, if any, you know? Let's see. Makes me wonder too, like with Hitler going back on unsealing the docs that he already ordered to be unsealed. There's a part of me that, wonders if whatever had to halt everything. I noticed it all kind of happened around the same time that the lawsuit's being filed for WSU. You got the state going in asking Hitler to reconsider the unsealing. Hitler agrees and he's like, yeah, you know what, actually, we'll keep it sealed. And this is all coinciding as well with maybe the culmination of the leak investigation that's going on behind the scenes as well, right? So you got all this happening kind of, I'm wondering if it's all coinciding. Um, I don't know. That's interesting though. I wonder if, hmm. All right. So prayer for relief. Wherefore, having fully answered plaintiff's complaint for damages, defendant WSU prays for judgment as follows. 1. Judgment against the plaintiffs dismissing the plaintiff's claims with prejudice. 2. The court award the defendant, WSU, all costs and reasonable attorney's fees to the extent allowed by law. And 3. For such order and further relief in favor of the defendant, WSU, and against the plaintiffs as this court deems just and equitable. And this was filed by Nicholas Brown, Attorney General. So it is the Washington Attorney General's office responding to this civil suit. Assistant Attorney General's office. Interesting. Connor Callahan, counsel for defendant WSU. So they brought on people from the Attorney General's office to assist them in the defense of the. I don't understand why is the Attorney General answering to this civil suit or assisting in it? And WSU is like, yeah, we're asking you to dismiss it, right? And here's the reasons why you should dismiss it, because they ran out the clock on their statute of limitations. They should have sued the state first, and they didn't. They didn't file any suit against the state. Isn't that your first step? Or that should have been done first, right? And they're like, hey, by the way, Your Honor, court, we also want you to award us all of our costs and reasonable attorney fees. And they're talking about counterclaims. Oh, because it's a state school. Thank you, Lucy. I was wondering about that. So they want it dismissed, right? But they, if it doesn't get dismissed, even if it is dismissed, they can file counterclaim, right? technically, but they definitely want all of their attorney's fees paid for, and they want it dismissed. So that's interesting. I don't know, man. They're talking about filing counterclaims. They're talking about other individuals and entities, not Kohberger. Let's go read that again because that shit was wild, man. I don't know. What do you guys think is going on here? It's just pretty interesting, you know. WSU admits, like, yeah. They even talk about the allegations that they were embroiled in this, like, you know, scandal or whatever with the cops and stuff. And I mean, WSU knows that happened. It's not like they don't know, you know. WSU police paid like what, $85,000 fine, I think it was, or something. So it's always interesting to me when you read their responses back and forth, you know, when these people go back and forth with each other. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to do this and look at my chat. Sorry, guys. Yeah, yeah, Amethyst, I agree. Doesn't sound like WSU has any formal complaints against Brian or any allegations that can be confirmed. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It also, like, it's just the way that they word it too, when they talk about like the other individuals and or entities. Um, I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. Maybe it means nothing. Maybe it means something. I don't know. It just seems like whatever's going on here, it's all very interesting because everything's been super quiet. You've got Hitler who just kind of, you know, walked it back on the release of documents that he already ordered to be released. Um, you know, so, and then we still have the, you know, leak investigation as well that's still going on as far as we know behind the scenes. Um, Liz, yes, they did respond to the Title IX. I mean, WSU is basically saying that everything that they are alleging is not true. They're denying it all or saying they don't have enough information or sufficient information to agree or deny. Um, and basically, it sounds like what they're getting at is we can just go through this with a fine tooth comb because they're not about to pay out like 400 million, $500 million. You know what I mean? I think I think maybe, you know, these people thought they could file this civil suit. It's a much lower bar, right? That you have to meet in a civil suit. Maybe they'll just settle out of court because they don't want, I don't think they were expecting WSU to come swinging and be like, no, actually, let's do federal. We want a federal court. We want a federal court judge. And we want to be able to like dig through this with a fine tooth comb. And I don't know why they keep talking about other individuals and entities that are not Kohberger alongside of Kohberger that are responsible for the damages. And those are the people who should be sued, is basically what WSU is saying. Kohberger and the other individuals and entities, those are the ones you should be suing, not us. Um, So that's super, super interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not a long read through. A lot of it, it's the same answer for, 50 of them in a row. But some of these answers, it gives you a little bit of detail. So that's why I wanted to do a read through of it. Hopefully, everybody, and please, if there's anything that maybe I didn't read it right, or if you can figure out what their little typo was, go ahead and if you catch this on replay and you think you figured out the typo, let me know. I'd love to know what they meant, because I'm really not sure what they meant. But I will make sure that I link this doc over on the community tab for everybody. I know Lucy already put it in chat once. I think she also has it on her community tab if anyone's looking for it. But yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Shit is wild. Yeah, I agree. Design rhythm. Oh, chat's back. WSU has to fight it, or else other people would sue the same way. Yeah. I do think whatever's going on here, I think they all kind of tie in together. I think this civil suit, along with whatever, the leak investigation's been going on for a little bit. I'm sure we have a culmination of that probably happening soon, if it hasn't already happened behind the scenes. You know what I mean? It just seems like and then Hitler is like, actually, yeah, we're going to hold back on unsealing the things that I said should be unsealed. I already ordered them to be unsealed, but actually I changed my mind. That's what Hitler did. Thanks, Hitler, dickhead. Lucy. Sort of seems like maybe they are trying to say that he was actually awarded one of the positions that were open on a police department. Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that. He was with another entity, not us. Not us. A different entity. Lucy, you already know, honey. You already know what I think, so you already know. You already know. I know that I don't even have to say who I'm thinking of, and you already know who I'm thinking of. If he was going to anywhere over there, meeting up with anyone over there in that area, I kind of have a. I think I know who it is. You look really familiar. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I know you from. You look familiar. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Maybe that's why he has all these pings over there in that area. I wonder if Moscow Police Department pings off that same tower. Wonder if it utilizes the same tower that gives service to King Road. It's just questions. It's just questions. I wonder if Moscow Police Department happens to utilize same cellular tower as the one utilized by King Road. Right? Because I do remember Anne talking about that, with Hitler, like, yeah, he was in Moscow, but he wasn't at that house, when talking about like his pings and shit, right? Well, yeah, he was in Moscow, but he wasn't at that house. He wasn't over there. Well, I don't know shit, friends. These are just my brain worms. I've always wondered, if he did get in with anywhere, because Pullman didn't have a spot open, or he didn't get accepted at Pullman. Did he go try and get in with Washington instead, or Moscow, or Latah County Sheriff's Office, or whatever, right? Did he try to go with another one? Did he hear things? Did he hear things? Or there's no way Brian is there in the summer, or right, end of June, beginning of July, and he doesn't know what's happening in the fall. with the WSU Police Department. There is no way he's working in the criminology department as a teacher's assistant for August, September, October. And then as soon as fall hits, September and October, you've got all of these high ranking WSU officers who have to resign, with your main sexual predator officer finally leaving and resigning November 1st. There's no way he didn't know that was going on. There's just no way. There is just no way he didn't know any of that was going on. And, I was talking to Willie about this like a week ago, and it's just a brainworm that I have. I can look at it from two ways. If I'm Kohberger, okay? And people are gonna, don't get your panties in a bunch, but I have like a dual brain here, so I can flip it. I can look at it from how could he be involved to, right? No way. Dude, I look at it from two different angles here. If I am a predator and maybe I want to prey, maybe I'd pick somewhere that I know they already got problems. They have some police who are maybe compromised. It's like the perfect hunting ground, right? If you know that there's a bunch of corrupt cops who also do the same thing that you do, and maybe you are a predator, maybe you would see it as the perfect hunting ground. Or flip it on the other side. If you are not a predator, but maybe you want to catch predators, maybe you want to catch people doing the praying. Do you get what I'm saying? Who aren't supposed to be doing it, people who abuse their power, their badges, etc. Right? So I could just put both hats on here and say, was he being nosy? Was he snooping around where he shouldn't have been snooping around? There is no way he didn't know what was going on with the WSU Police Department at the time in the fall of 2022. Everybody who lived there knew. It was in news articles, Spokane Review, right? All of that stuff. They were all reporting on it. It's reported on all of their local channels out there. So it's not like it was a hush-hush thing. But, I've always wondered myself, like, what are these pings over there? Well, yeah, he was in Moscow, but he wasn't at that house. He wasn't there, over there. Well, where was he? What was he doing? Like I said, he could have absolutely nothing to do with this. But the fact of the matter is, he pled. Yes, I do. People plead all the time to things they didn't do. Yeah. I get it. I'm sure something is being done in the background. And the reason that I'm sure of that is because I think this is why everything is halted. I think this is why everything had to go back to, going back to dark. And we get nothing. And we're not allowed to know it because we're not supposed to know it until the time is right. Right? There are certain things, in my opinion, that need to be protected because there are certain people who can't know those things. It is what it is. And if they have to keep some of that hidden for a little bit longer or whatever the case may be, I'm not even saying that Hitler would do that because he thinks it's the right thing or the correct thing to do. He may not have a choice. He may not really have a choice, actually. So I don't know. I truly, I have my own like gut instinct about it, my own kind of like opinions about it. But I got to say, at first, when I first saw the civil suit filed against WSU, I initially thought, nah, whatever, they'll settle out of court just because they probably don't want to deal with it. Here's, 50 million, fucking shut up and go away. But then after I read the full lawsuit, and we did that live and I covered it, and I was like, oh shit. There is no way WSU is letting this go. No way they're letting it go. And I was not surprised to hear that they wanted it moved to federal court at all. I was not surprised to hear they want federal court looking at this. They want federal judges looking at this case, looking at the claims against them and their university and the plaintiffs who are making those claims. We want all of it scrutinized, actually, by a federal court and a federal judge. That is super interesting. I get it. It's because they're a state school or whatever. It probably has something to do with, you know, they're a state school, federally funded, blah, blah, blah. It's probably nothing tinfoil hat. It's more like a policy thing, but who knows, right? I don't know shit. I just think it's interesting that WSU, it would appear, did not come to lose, in my opinion. WSU does not plan on losing, is what it looks like. When you get down to the nitty gritty, it would appear WSU is not going to lose. They don't want to lose, and they don't plan to lose. So that's interesting. Yeah, exactly. The complaint basically all but says that Brian was embedded in a police department. Yeah, exactly, Lucy. It says it without saying it, right? Him and these other individuals and entities, those are the people you should be suing, not us. That to me is the layman's of what WSU is saying here. Him and this other individual and or individuals and this other entity, go sue them. Take your civil suit there where it should be, is what it sounds like they're saying. Right? And whatever's going on in the background, I don't know, but it just feels to me like that's why I keep saying, like, just I think that we all need to, it's fine if we got to wait a little longer, and it's fine. Because I think what's actually going on in the background, it's probably for the better, actually, that certain people don't know. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Because I think there's a lot of, there's a few individuals in particular involved, intimately involved with this case that are likely, the target of the investigation that's going on in the background. So maybe it's a good thing they don't know what's going on. Mm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking too. So, Lucy, that's why I was asking, like, what can they get access to now that the case is closed? Can they only get access to the same public things that we get? Or are they allowed to FOIA, say, like sealed docs, right? Technically, because they're a state school, they're asking for a federal court, a federal judge. Would that federal judge be able to, like, override Hitler? Anything that Hitler sealed? Would a federal court be allowed to demand those records or anything like that? I don't know. I'm just asking questions, Let me come back over to chat here. Witchy was, hello. How you doing? Hi everyone. Leslie and Billy, hello. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you're having a great night. I'm going to shut it down in a minute. Um, just wanted to kind of go through that and talk it out a little. Sorry about the audio problems and the internet problems in the beginning. There is a 5-minute period where it's just dead air on the live, friends. Sorry about that. Just skip over it when you get there. If you're catching this on the replay, okay, skip over the first 5 minutes. I'll have to type it in a comment or something on the video. Get to 15 minutes in because we lost internet for a few there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. This shit's wild. I don't understand what they're getting at. I really don't. Even when we first read the first lawsuit, I'm like, what are they getting at here? Talking about these cops and this and that. And, this guy's a predator over here, and this guy was a predator over here, and WSU knew their officers had these problems and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are they getting at? Because I thought Brian wasn't accepted into any of the police departments there, WSU or Pullman, right? But I don't know, man. I have no idea. The whole thing is, yeah, that's what I figured, Liz, right? They'll ask a judge to subpoena all the docs. Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely. 100%. If you want to sue me for 400, 500, 600 million dollars, I want everything. I want every single thing that I can get my hands on, that I can get subpoenaed, that I can get through a FOIA, that I can get through discovery. I mean, all of it. 100%. Right? So I don't know what they're talking about here. It just sounds to me like what WSU is getting at is that it's Brian Kohberger, other individuals and entities that you need to be filing a civil suit against, not us. Furthermore, you should have actually filed the civil suit against the state first, and also your statute of limitations is dust. Sounds like that's basically what WSU is saying. That's the gist of what I'm gathering here. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know. But that's the gist. In layman's terms, that's what it sounds like to me. Your statute of limitations is dust. Also, you should have sued the state first, not us. Also, you should be filing a civil suit against Mr. Kohberger and the individuals and entities who may have assisted and or worked with him and or whatever facilitated this. Because it wasn't us, is basically what WSU is saying. It's other individuals and entities that facilitated Mr. Kohberger or had control of Mr. Kohberger, not WSU. Holy shit. So, I don't know, friends. I'm just going to go fucking witch cackle away. And, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, Outcast, for gifting memberships tonight. Thank you, everybody. I tried to start your super chats. I know Silent G sent a super chat. Esther Hahn sent a super chat. And I feel like someone else did. And I started and now it's gone. But thank you to all of you. Mods, appreciate you. Did I only have one mod tonight? Lucy, was it only you, darling? Oh, wow. And this live was wide open and I didn't even restrict chat or nothing. Well, thank you, Liz. Anytime, anytime. I'm a little bit out of it tonight, friends. Sorry. Not as snarky as usual, not on my game as usual. But I did want to look through this and kind of let it marinate and talk it out with everyone. Nicole Wilson, hello. Good to see you. Lucy, only you. Yeah, you had your work cut out for you tonight. I don't think you did, though. I don't even think we got any trolls, other than Detective Mallory. I'm kidding, Detective Maurer. I'm totally fucking with you. I crack myself up. Nicole Wilson, no, you rock. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You rock. I hope everybody had a good time. We at least got to take a look at it and read through the whole thing. And like I said, if you want the doc, print it, laminate it, frame it. I'll post it on my community tab, but Lucy's already got it on hers, so you can just go snag it from her if you want. I will try to remember to link it for everyone. Okay. I hope you guys have a great night. Typically unique. Oh my goodness. Hello, Kim. Thank you so much. I got an email that someone gifted me a membership today on your channel. I'm sorry I wasn't there, and thank you so much to whoever gifted me the membership with you. I will try to make your next live, I promise. Short bus. No. Yeah, I'm going. I'm out of here. I'm tired. Okay. I'm a little bit out of it. I'm still really sore. Okay. I've been a little sick and stuff, and I really need to take it easy. So I'm going to go take my pain pill and I'm going to pass the F out, is what I'm going to do. Answer to the complaint. Here we go. Thanks, Lucy. For fuck's sake, FITZIANNA. Thank you, honey. Appreciate you. The link is there, friends, to the doc if anybody wants it. Short Bus says, well, shit, I just sparked one. Oh, that's funny. You just sparked one. Well, you can put it at replay, okay? Short Bus. And then when you get to the part where I go silent, you got to skip over about 5-6 minutes because I lost internet there for a few minutes, but then we came back on. So, okay, just put it on replay at like 2 speed. You'll be fine. You'll get through it no problem pretty fast. But yeah, I hope I at least made a little bit of sense tonight. I hope I at least got the gist here of what WSU is trying to say correct. And if I'm wrong about a few things, that's fine. Also, in the beginning of the live tonight, I did want to clarify I'm not trying to start shit. I'm not trying to cause drama. It's just you guys know I don't like shit regurgitated in my comment section that I know is just not factually accurate. And I really do. I know sometimes I am not factually accurate, and I will say this is just my opinion on something, right? But like we read through Turvey, we read through Nodell. I did 2 separate lives for each and all of Sutton's responses. And I need to be clear that nowhere in those responses and those rebuttals between Sutton and Nodell and Sutton and Turvey do they all agree that Kaylee was downstairs at all. Okay. So I just wanted to clear that up because I don't want, if I see it, if it comes in as a comment, I'm just going to delete it. It is what it is. I'm just being real with y'all. Right. I have to be so real. If you put like a comment in my comment section that is just something completely outlandish or that isn't in the docs or it's something that hasn't been proven and you're typing that shit in my comments as though it is an actual fact because you got it from like Reddit or WSU Kim or whatever the case may be, you have to put like it's your opinion. If you type it out as though it's a legitimate fact when it's not, I'm just going to delete it. I'm so sorry. You're allowed to have your opinions, but you can't put shit that is just outlandish as a fact in my comment section. I'm so very sorry. But it is my understanding, based on everything that we just read through, when it comes to the state's exhibit S1, it is the Sutton amended rebuttal disclosure that's included in that exhibit, and her replies and responses to Turvey and Nodell. The defense's experts, at no point do those experts agree that Kaylee is on the second floor. Okay. So I just want to clear that up. Please don't put it in my comments. Please don't try and tell me that that's what the experts said because they didn't. I know they didn't. We read through it. Not only did we read through the whole 150 plus pages in one live, we then went back and did 2 separate lives to cover each response from Sutton to each expert. Okay. So as much as, this is why I say, please do not, it's okay to have your favorite creators and all of that, and you love them and you want to believe everything they say, but like, you really have to exercise due diligence, read the docs yourself, come to your own conclusions. Don't just regurgitate what your favorite creator is saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If we need to do another read through of it, we can. If I'm wrong, go ahead and point to me in the document. Tell me where in the document it says that these 3 experts all agree that Kaylee was on the second floor, because they don't. It's quite the opposite. The only thing all 3 seem to agree on is that the attack started on the 3rd floor and the 2 victims on the 3rd floor were specifically sought out. And then it goes into the language of the execution of the living witnesses on the 2nd floor that are not the 2 survivors. Right. So, well, I guess what I'm talking about, Lucy, is like there's people saying that like because it's diluted blood of Kaylee and Maddie or just Kaylee or whatever downstairs in the 2nd floor. I'm talking specifically about Them saying, this person is saying that the experts agreed that Kaylee was on the second floor, attacked on the second floor. As far as I know, after everything we just read through and what we've covered in the last couple lives, no, it's quite the opposite. The only thing they actually agree on is that the attack started on the third floor and Kaylee never left that room, right? So there is no attack of Kaylee on the second floor. Kaylee is not bleeding down on the second floor at all. Mixed diluted samples of Kaylee and Maddie downstairs, leading to like the downstairs first floor and the half wall. All that doesn't mean that she was down there, right? Even when we're talking about like, it would appear, I'm just going to say this, it would appear, in my opinion, what they're getting at is that they believe the attack started on the third floor. The two victims on the third floor were intentionally and specifically sought out on the third floor. They then agree. Turvey calls it the execution of living witnesses. That's what Turvey called it. Turvey says that what happened on the second floor with Xana and Ethan is the execution of the living witnesses that are not Dylan and Bethany, obviously, because Dylan and Bethany were not executed. It's very specific language that is being used, which is why I can't wait to get the full disclosure from Dr. Turvey and from Nodell, right? And then also Sutton. When we have their full disclosures, that's going to be a lot more context for us that we can utilize, right? All we're going by now is her amended rebuttal disclosure, okay, where she's correcting a few things, responding and replying to the defense's experts, but we don't have the full context of all of their disclosures. So we do need that. But it is my opinion, the reason that you have diluted blood of Kaylee and Maddie downstairs on that half wall, the pool table, and then leading out the first floor is probably for the same reason that Turvey is saying. You have, at none of the three exit points, is there any proof that that is how the perpetrator left, especially the slider. There is no evidence that that is actually how they left. And if you have these diluted samples of the girls downstairs on that half wall and leading down to the first floor and the pool table, right? I'm just saying, that doesn't mean that they were down there. And to my understanding, the experts did not agree that Kaylee was on the second floor or attacked on the second floor. What they do agree on is that she was upstairs on the third floor. She was specifically sought out, and then she never left that room. So I don't know. I hope that helps. Even Ann Taylor says she never left the bed. This is why what Dylan is saying can't be true, according to the defense. It can't be true because she never left the bed. Furthermore, Turvey believes they were posed. Okay, so I don't know. It's very interesting. I'm looking forward to, if we get, I would like their full disclosures if we ever get them. I feel like that just is going to add a lot more context, because right now we're only getting bits and pieces of the disclosures and what she's replying and responding to. We need the full context to really have a full grasp. But to my understanding, based on everything that we've read through so far, no, the experts do not agree that Kaylee was on the second floor at all. It's quite the opposite. They agree that she was on the third floor. She was specifically sought out and targeted on the third floor and then never left the third floor. So I don't know. Just wanted to put that out there. Um, if you guys are unsure what I'm talking about, I did do 2 separate lives recently. We did one where we just reading the responses to Nodell, and then the second live we did is reading just the responses to Turvey. And I broke it up into 2 separate lives to make it kind of easy. They're like an hour each. You could put them at 2 speed and listen to it all for yourself. We read it all in full on a live, and you decide for yourself what you think you're hearing there. I don't think that what the experts are agreeing on is Kaylee was on the second floor. It's actually quite the opposite, in my opinion. But I don't know shit. Do not listen to me. Read the document yourself. Come to your own conclusions, is what I always say here. But it is my understanding, no. She never left the third floor. So, and Sutton agrees. So even the state's own expert agrees with Dr. Turvey and Nodell that those 2 on the third floor, once they were attacked and the bloodletting event occurred, they never left that room. Ever. They weren't downstairs at all. They were specifically sought out on the third floor and then never left that room after the attack or during it. So, I don't know. Just throwing that out there. But either way, it's late. Love you guys. Hope you have a great night. Lucy, thank you so much for modding tonight. I'm sorry you were on your own, but you're amazing. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Beckles, hello. Just saw you out of the corner of my eye. All right. You guys have a good night. I'm out of here, okay? Take care. Bye.